That'd be a big blow if he can't come back. That's a good sign for him to be able to get up and walk off under his own pressure. But you can tell he took a shot to the midsection. He's been a playmaker already today.
Hopefully just knock the wind out of him and a little hit to the ribs, and maybe he can a little time, walk it off, and be back out there. Here's the mark, the spot, and the stretch the chain out, and they got it. Like I said, by the nose of the ball.
Touch. Thought we're going to have to bring up the Gene Steratore index card.
Yeah, it was close. It was a good call, good tunnel screen, but there was a great play by the Harding Academy defense. I thought they were going to pick up the first down easily, and then the defender just slipped loose, came loose, and bam, big tackle, drove Harris backwards, but he got just enough.
2 for 2 on 4th down for Prescott. The first one resulted in a touchdown. We'll see if they can capitalize on a new set of downs here.
1st and 10 from the 28. Zachary's going to take it. He's running over the right side. Zachary, nothing there. They throw a flag in the pile. It's almost insult to injury right there. You'd think that's probably a hold unless they had a hand up high face mask. That's Trenton Hall on the tackle.
It's a nice job of just setting the edge defensively, not allow Zachary to bounce that one outside.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
It's going to be the second penalty on Prescott. And 2 penalties on Harding Academy. So pretty well played ball game so far. Knock on wood. Shouldn't say that, Wes, and jinx everything.
It won't be as bad as what was it, the 6A game that we called? El Dorado had 15-plus penalties.
It was 25 combined penalties and 9 turnovers. Not that I was counting. That'll push them back at least 10, maybe even further. 1st and long. Go throw back. He's got a receiver open. Looks like that's Zachary. And what a play from the defender. Just at the last second, Hoover just gets a hand on it and knocks it away.
It looked like that Hoover was toasted as the receiver was a full 2 strides beyond him. But that pass, even though it was downwind, held up just a little bit and allowed him to close the ground as they were trying to get the ball deep to O'Marion Dickens, and that was what I thought was going to be a walk-in touchdown, but nice closing speed there by number 25 in white to prevent the big play.
I said Zachary, it was Dickens, 5, not 3, and he just didn't lead him. He had enough on it, but just you should have let him in the middle of the field. He's just smashed from behind. Never saw it coming. That was Sam Swindle.
The defensive ends are winning at the line of scrimmage for Harding Academy. That time, just a little rip move underneath the tackle, able to get by the left tackle for Prescott. And now the Curly Wolves are faced with 3rd and break out your abacus.
Remember they went for it on 4th down. They got that 4th down by the nose of the ball. They were inside the 30. Things were looking good, but a holding call, a sack, and now they have the ball on their own 43-yard line, and they got to get to the 18. Poole's going to throw. He's under pressure again. That Harding Academy defense has him running for his life. He throws it back, almost a lateral to Zachary. And hold on now. Zachary is brought down at the 45. Great job of that Harding Academy defense. That could have been another big play. Whenever you get the ball to Zachary in space, you got to hold your breath.
He had a few blockers out in front. Nice job by the Prescott offense to recognize that they could have made plays, and we're getting an indication that was a backwards pass. So that's actually going to go in a run stat for Zachary. But again, Harding Academy stays at home and gets a stop on their side of the 50, and Curly Wolves punt teams out there.
Simmons, Brooks, they bring him down. Good open field tackles on a very explosive player. Punt is away. Low line drive. See if Prescott can stop it before it gets into the end zone. They had a chance to knock them down, knock the ball down, and pin them on the 1. It gets into the end zone for the touchback.
So I think he threw the beanbag at the 3. That's where the ball was touched, but of course it goes into the end zone for a touchback, and that's a big break for Harding Academy as they were about to be pinned deep inside their own 5 going into the winds. Those 17 yards of field position going to make you feel a whole lot better if you're Coach Evans and that Harding Wildcat offense.
We asked out loud earlier when was the last time Harding Academy trailed in a game, and our buddy Mark Buffalo let us know. He covers these Harding Academy players. Last time Harding Academy trailed was against Briarcrest, Tennessee, in the non-conference portion of the season.
It's 9.5
the last game they lost. Yeah. 1st and 10 from the 20. Smith sends everybody. All receivers to the right. He fakes. Miller, direct snap to Miller, just nothing there. There's a lot of eye candy there, a lot of motion, trying to distract that Prescott defense, but nothing happening.
Enjoying the football conversation on social media? Just use the hashtag ARPBS Sports. You brought it up early in that first quarter. The defensive lines for both sides were winning at the point of attack. It hasn't stopped.
No.
These two defensive fronts are controlling the line of scrimmage, and that's why we've got just 9 points and almost a full half of football.
2nd 10, Smith. That's just a win ball to me. He's looking for Coke, and Coke was open, but you're throwing into the. I mean, it is gusting here. I mean, he's throwing into the teeth of the wind, and he's got a big arm, and he used that arm. It cut right through the wind, but unfortunately, went right over Coke's head.
You feel like you've got to put a little extra zip on the football to throw it to the wind, and that time it's a little too much because that had big play written all over it as he was behind the secondary for Prescott, but now it's, again, 3rd and long.
Smith looking to pass under pressure. He gets rid of it, finds a receiver, and it's off his hands. He had Fox open, cutting across the middle, and it just banged off of Fox's hands.
He had him wide open, kind of a hole in the zone, if you will. And that's a play that Fox generally makes. Got 50 catches on the season coming into this one, averaging 17 yards per reception. A big hit on the quarterback, but that time he just couldn't corral it. Now Harding's got to kick into the winds. We've seen both quarterbacks step up and deliver strikes, even though when they know a big hit's coming. That time, receiver couldn't haul it in and help his quarterback.
Zachary back to return the punt. It's a low, rolling punt. They'll roll all the way inside the 40 to the 39. That's a good low line drive. That's like you're standing up on the tee box with the driver in your hand, and that wind's howling in your face, and you try to swing easy and keep it low and hit a low liner. You know, the stinger type, Tiger Woods called it. And normally when I tried that, I would just hit it higher.
Yeah.
And it would just balloon up in the air and go about 100 yards. Well, I tell you what, that just showed the skill of Kyle Ferry right there. The low line drive punt that stayed out of the wind and got a great bounce and rolled all the way to the 38.
And both these teams averaging, upwards of 400 yards of offense. We thought we might have a shootout, and the conditions are certainly limiting the offense. And the special teams, we got a fumble.
Zachary dropped it. Yep. Zachary picks it up and gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
Going low, and the receiver who lines up in the Wildcat couldn't go down and get it, but great job of him to stay aware, picks up the football, and just gets back to that original line.
Well, we're guilty of it, Bobby. So many times we see these two teams with great offenses, and we just talk about the offense. Well, it takes 3 phases to get to a state championship game, and the defenses usually get overlooked. And these two teams have great defenses, and we're seeing that today. Zachary takes it. He's got a couple blockers out there. Zachary breaks one tackle, breaks a second tackle, gets it across to the 43-yard line. Give him 5 on the play. Kennedy Rush makes the tackle.
That's a good point by U.S. We do talk about the offenses all the time. They're both averaging over 40, but these two defenses giving up 14 or less. Prescott giving up 14.7, Harding giving up 13.7. They're showing why they've been two of the best defensive units in 3A.
Under 2 minutes to go. Prescott trying to add to their lead. We got a flag down. I didn't see it, but Harding Academy's pointing towards Prescott.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
23, Brandon Bradley tried to get a little head start from the slot receiver position. Well, that's frowned upon.
We'll push them back 5 yards, make it 3rd and 10. Clock is ticking. Minute 35.
So this is, I might think about taking a timeout defensively if you're Harding Academy. Try to get the ball back for your offensive unit, even though you're going into the wind.
Poole fakes. He's looking deep. He's going deep. Tries to get a receiver, and he's got a receiver. Dickens catches it. What a catch. What a throw.
That's just called trusting your arm and trusting the wind's going to help you, as I thought there was no chance he's going to be able to push the ball that far downfield, but Poole shows off a rocket attached to his right shoulder, and a great play in stride.
Look at this throw. He threw it from the 33 to the 26.
Big time throw, big time catch. And they're in the red zone.
Going to hand it off up the middle. Grigsby still trying to move the pile. Grigsby gets it to the 12.
Pitch and catch goes 46 yards.
Swindle on the tackle. Minute to go in the half. Prescott's taking their time.
You got 2 timeouts, so there's really no need to get in a hurry. You just want to make sure you don't score too quickly and give Harding a time to get the football offensively.
Grigsby up the middle. Nothing. Maybe a yard.
No. It's going to be 4-down territory for Prescott. We saw the struggles on the extra point on the touchdown, so they're going to have 2 downs to try to convert this. The clock continues to run. We're under 30 seconds here in the first half.
Hole with another tackle. 3rd down and 5. Poole keeps it. Nothing. Harding Academy's defense steps up. Eli Wallace.
Dropping for a loss of 1, and just there's no movement up front. For Harding Academy, he's not going to get his name on the stat sheet for that play, but 50, Levi Mercer just won at the point of attack and allowed the rest of his troops to get over and make the play.
So the ball's at the 11-yard line. Prescott takes their timeout with 14 seconds to go.
Can't pick up a first down, so they don't have to score. With 1 timeout and just 14 seconds left, the clock will stop if they do pick up a first down, but they're starting to run out of time. That clock certainly going to be a factor.
Be a 28-yard field goal if they wanted to try it. The wind's behind them, but on Zacharias' first or only extra point attempt, it was a low line drive kick that never got above the crossbar, and it actually hit the crossbar. So I don't know how much faith they have in kicking it.
I think you've got to try to find a way to get Zachary maybe coming on a shallow cross, maybe a speed sweep behind the line of scrimmage, but number 3 is going to be who I would be looking to first to get the football to.
And we've seen 5 also been a target and just made the big play on this drive, and Marion Dickens. And then, of course, Caleb Harris. Is he back out there? Have we seen Harris?
Yeah, Harris is not back out there, so his big frame's not going to be an advantage here.
Harris is still on the sideline trying to walk it off. He's still in a little pain.
Does not have his helmet.
4th down and 5. Poole calls for it. He's rolling right.
Go back.
He's going to throw it back left. And he got him. Touchdown Prescott on the throwback pass.
What a throw. You can see that was a slow developing play, but the running back or the receiver just kind of sneaks out the backside, and he wins the race, and what a perfect throw. You could not have laid that out any better than Karsten Poole just did right there.
That was Grigsby who snuck out of the backfield, and he was well defended.
Great coverage.
It is great coverage from Cole, but it was a better throw and a better catch.
You just have to tip the cap there. That's a great throw by Poole, and just dial that one up as an offense. Cannot execute it any better, and the Curly Wolves have a chance to take a 10-point lead into the break.
Prescott can go ahead and try a field goal again. They're trying to get everybody out there. They're missing somebody.
They have to take a timeout, and they've got one to burn.
Yeah. They're going to call timeout. What a throw. We saw 2 great throws from Karsten Poole on that drive. In fact, we've seen 3 great throws from Poole. Remember, he was under pressure and delivered a dime way down the field earlier in the second quarter. Very impressed with Karsten Poole and his throws today.
He's coming into the game, he's completing 69% of his passes, and you're starting to see why. He puts it on target, and the reason that throw right there was so impressive, it's kind of going across the wind. He throws it across the field, so the wind not exactly helping him on that one, but it's a great throw, great play, and good offense just happens to be good defense on that one. Well, if you love seeing these televised high school sports championships, please consider making a gift to Arkansas PBS today.
So Prescott adds to their lead with 8 seconds left in the half. Let's see if they've they're going to stay with the field goal or maybe try. Looks like they may be going. No, they got the kicker out there. I see him now.
Prescott gets the ball to start the second half. Is that right? If I recall correctly. Harding went down, kicked the field goal the first possession of the game, right?
No, they got a 3 and out.
That's good. You're right.
Prescott got the ball first.
Too many downs have happened since then.
That's a long time ago.
Encroachment. Defense.
I would consider going for 2 here now.
Yeah.
You move it half the distance to the goal. They're telling them, go ahead and move it half the distance. But they're not. The kicker's just going to get a little bit closer.
I'm with you. I'd go for 2 here. Push it up to 11. But it's already a 2-possession game. Try to make it 10.
We'll see if Zacharias has a better kick this time. He does not. Wide left. He got that one a lot higher, but he pulled it left, and it's no good. So Prescott leads 12-3 with 8 seconds to go in the half.
So if you're Coach Glasser, maybe I'll try to jump into the mind of a coach. You're thinking with a kicker like Ferry, you want to have that 2 possession so a touchdown or field goal doesn't beat you. So maybe that's why you try to kick the PAT there. But now Prescott 0 for 2 on the points after. And now the kicking game's still a huge factor.
Well, Harding Academy's going to have a chance to do something on this kick. Last time Zacharias kicked it off, it was a low line drive kick, and it doesn't get your kick coverage team much time to get down the field. And so they got 2 returners back there to try to make a big play, maybe make something happen before you go into the locker room. I see Kyler Hoover back there.
2 deep men going to stand at their own 20 for Harding Academy.
Is that Andrew Miller up to the far side? Is that an 8? That's a long way away. I can't see that far. A little higher this time. That's actually Fox with it. Fox heads to the sideline.
Great open field tackle.
Well, it's Travion Dickens again. I don't have official stats for tackles, but I bet he's got 8 tackles in the first half.
That's just a great play on special teams. He gets down the field, breaks down, makes the play, and now Harding Academy going right into the wind with 3 seconds left. You got to believe they may just run the football and get into the locker room. So with Harding getting the football, Prescott's likely going to have the wind in the fourth quarter at their back, which is exactly what you want to do.
Wildcats come back onto the field. Like you said, 3 seconds to go in the half.
Well, line up with odds to the top of your screen.
Smith has it. He's going to give him time to get. Pumps it. Now he's under pressure. He takes off running. He's going to be thrown down at the 38-yard line. The half ends on that play. Burton, the sophomore, drags him down, and Prescott motions to their fans, get up on your feet. We're beating Harding Academy 12-3. Let's go down to the sideline. Kyle Sutherland is grabbing Coach Glass. Kyle.
Coach, fourth down, you're 2 of 2 right now. Talk about the execution of your offense, particularly there at the end of the half.
Well, we had to just get it in right there, and we got that little rail play, great throw, great catch, got it in.
And what do you do about Harding Academy's pass rush? Even though your offense has picked it up, they have been a problem there on the ends. What do you do there for your offensive line?
We've got to get in there and get it figured out and just shore it up. Had a couple busted assignments, got a few guys beat up. We're dipping into the depth right now, so we just got to figure out a way to get it done.
Thank you, Coach.
Digging into the depth, you think about that team. They're without their star running back, Jalen Hobson, got other injuries, but they lead 12-3 at the half. Halftime at the 3A state championship game. Stick around. It's the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
Halftime at the 3A state championship game. There you see it. Prescott leads Harding Academy 12-3. A very impressive performance by this Prescott defense, Bobby.
It really has been. 52 yards on the quarterback scramble way back on the Wildcats' first possession of the game. Since then, just 66 yards of offense. A lot of the credit has to go to that front three for the Curly Wolf defense. They've been able to push the pocket and not allow a whole lot in the running game. In the passing game, they've had even less time to get rid of the football.
And Harding Academy only 28 yards passing through the air, and we've seen the wind create some problems for both quarterbacks at times, but Carson Poole, 7 of 10 with some great throws. I've been so impressed with this young man.
He's been able to push the football down the field, and Prescott really took advantage of the wind in that second quarter. They took the shots down the field, the throwback for their second touchdown. They took advantage of the elements. We saw it on Monday night in the NFL. You got to take advantage of the elements, take what Mother Nature gives you. The Curly Wolves are doing that, and that's why they've got a 9-point lead.
Guarantee you, we will see the heart of a champion. Harding Academy's back-to-back champs for a reason. We're going to see why in the second half. Stick around. Second half action coming your way. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Arkansas PBS Halftime Show, sponsored by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. I'm your host, David Basil, here at the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. Glad to have you along. Coming up, we will address the importance of sportsmanship, both on the field and in the stands. We'll show you the story of strong generational family and football bonds at McGrory High School. And we'll meet a student athlete who's chasing a family rushing record with the Boonville Bearcats. But first, the state championships are a celebration of the heart and passion of students and their communities across the state. The Arkansas Activities Association, or AAA, is charged with keeping these contests going. For a peek behind the curtain of how it all comes together, we're joined by Derek Walter, Assistant Executive Director with the AAA. Derek, great to see you again this year.
Great to be here, Baz. Year 2 of doing this.
Yes, listen, last year was a crazy year compared to this year with all the COVID. Talk about the difference between the two seasons.
Well, last year, I think we were just celebrating to get to War Memorial, and obviously we're glad to be back and be in the state championships. This year, I think our schools would say a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
Less things they had to worry about as far as quarantining, not quarantining, and how that affected playing the game. I think this playoffs right now, we've had about one team that had to back out, and I think that was more due to just numbers and injuries than it was COVID. So COVID's really not been much of a problem for high school football this year, and we were able to finish the regular season with no issues, and like I said, we're back here at War Memorial.
And we're talking about, the game itself, but also, too, the fans, the family, the band, all that. That's what the sports is all about in high school.
That's right. As we're gearing up for basketball, last year we had no postseason tournaments, preseason tournaments. This year we do, and so no capacity restrictions. Bands are in the stands, cheerleaders are on the sideline, and so it's pretty much back to a normal football season, and just exciting for these towns. A lot of them, football, basketball, the biggest thing that happens in that town, and so we're just excited to be able to kind of start back where we left off a few years ago.
Talk about this great relationship you have. This is year number 4 with the AAA and Arkansas PBS.
It is. We started this about, like you said, 4 years ago, and just been a great partnership. Through the years, we had some TV broadcasts and online broadcasts, but we were not statewide. And so, obviously, we covered the entire state of Arkansas, and so wanted the towns and communities around every corner of the state to be able to watch their team participate in the state championship. And so worked with PBS on that. We've added baseball and softball last year. And so just looking to maybe add more in the future. But for us, it's just about how do we get more kids in the spotlight. This is going to be the biggest game most students ever play in. And so the more people and more, production that we do for this TV game and also for basketball and softball and baseball, the better. And the more we can get those kids involved and in front of the state is a good thing.
Also, real quickly, too, what a challenge it is to do what you do and then have social media on top of you. Not only do you have television coverage, which raises the game for everybody, which is great, but then you deal with also the pressures of social media.
That's right. It's a new day, as we know. Every day is a new day, and really depends on who's going to, what story gets popped and who's tweeting and sharing that out. But it is, and we try to use that to our advantage, and our schools do too. With media around the state starting to dwindle, we tell our schools, hey, put graphics out, put your scores out. You cover yourself, and that hopefully will help get your brand out as well.
Well, you guys do a great job, Derek. You do too. Another successful fall of football, and appreciate all that you do. Love the partnership between the AAA and the Arkansas PBS. Really, it's a group effort between you both, and it takes that along with the communities as well. There's so much passion on display during a football season that it can be easy to get carried away. As we support our teams, we must always remember the importance of sportsmanship. Let's take a look now at what sportsmanship means to the Arkansas student athletes who take part in the games.
Sportsmanship is integrity.
Sportsmanship is respect and kindness.
Self-control. Accountability. Character. Persevering through challenges. Playing for the love of the game.
Sportsmanship to me is all about respect, staying true to who you are, and being kind.
Having respect for everyone on and off the field.
Sportsmanship means to me that you have respect for yourself and other players, and you can keep your emotions together and just have fun with the game.
Sportsmanship means respecting all players, coaches, and officials on the field and having a positive attitude.
Sportsmanship is just being honest and being fair to not only your teammates but opponents. Games may get heated, intense, and personal.
This would likely lead to chaos and maybe even violence without sportsmanship.
Negative sportsmanship just brings the game down. It makes it not fun anymore.
As a player, it takes the fun out of the game. It doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you, it affects your team.
As a player or an athlete, it has a very negative effect.
I feel like my game isn't the best that it can be because someone else is putting a damper on it.
And it just brings us all down in a sport that should otherwise be fun and enjoyable.
Parents are very important role models.
Your behavior at games shows who you are
and what you value most.
Let your child see you upholding these principles of sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship avoids all criticism and unkind actions.
Sportsmanship emphasizes the importance of respect, integrity,
decency, and self-control.
I think we can all agree that these values are needed now more than ever before.
Demonstrating sportsmanship shows that you care about all kids, not just your kid.
Education-based activities are about more than winning and losing. They are about learning.
How is your sportsmanship affecting the game?
How is your sportsmanship affecting the game?
How does your sportsmanship affect the game?
How is your sportsmanship affecting the game?
For some communities and families around the state, football is a way of life. That is certainly true at McCrory High School, where a sideline legacy has spanned generations. Here's their story.
Here we go, man. Here we go. Here we go.
Honestly, football is it's been so special, when you think back to 4th grade when we all started.
Nice job. Nice job.
I love it. That's what I think about all the time.
There's not a lot to do in a small community anyway, so if you have a common bond with each other and a place to go to each Friday night, it gives a sense of pride and a sense of character for the people in the community.
And we make adjustments if we have to, okay? 1-4.
There's not many people who get to coach together and have their sons coming up and watch them all throughout Pee Wee at the same age and now getting to coach them in high school.
Come on, Butter. Come on.
We know the end's coming soon. I'm Cason Campbell, the quarterback at McCrory High School.
Win your position every single play of the night. Let's go.
My name is Reed Kennan, and I play outside linebacker and running back at McCrory High School.
My dad is Glenn Campbell. He's the offensive coordinator.
I've got doubles, 8, rocket, deuce. On one. Ready, go.
probably my earliest memories are running up and down the sideline because my dad's been coaching my whole life. I would do anything I could just to get close to the game.
Let's go. Let's put it on the gas. Let's get on the gas. Here we go, man, back in.
Not every player gets to play for their dad, and on this team we have 2 of them, you know. But having him there, you know, every day, you know, I get to spend every day with my dad doing what we both love. So it's really special to get to do that.
Well, it's different than having, or like in other sports where I have different coaches that weren't my father, because of course he gets on me harder than he does anybody else. It makes me want to talk back more, but in the back of my head I'm like, I probably don't need to. I just need to shut up and listen and do what he says because he's a lot smarter than I am.
Well, Cason and Reed, they've known each other since they were born. They've been quarterback and running back ever since 4th grade.
Having him by my side, especially him playing running back, you know, every down that I've ever played, he's been right beside me.
Like he might be scrambling around in the backfield, and I know just to, if I'm blocking, just to release out in the backfield, and he knows I'm going to be there, and he can dump it off to me and let me run.
It's just kind of a brotherhood athletic bond.
The bond that they've built through the years, and me getting to be part of that, has been extra special for me.
Well, it's really special to me because I had both Chris and Glenn, who are the fathers of these 2 young men, and they both played for me back when I was the head football coach here, and now I'm coaching their sons, which you know, it's kind of special that it's kind of like a family atmosphere. You know, it's I see some of the things in Cason and Reed that I saw in Glenn and Chris when they were playing.
With them 2, they just do everything together, and it's been like that with baseball since they were 4 years old also. They've always played together. They just enjoyed everything they did. And so we have coaches, and as we as friends, Glenn and I, we've really cherished those moments.
Have you thought much about next year?
Well, it's going to be different. You know, we discussed that, and it's that's probably the worst discussion that Glenn and I have is, you know, how things are going to change.
Well, we have a rule around here. It's you don't talk about it. You don't say the end is near. You don't even say how many games are left.
But, you know, it will be different without my son walking that hall.
Once it's gone, I mean, it's going to make me miss it so much more than I already know I'm going to.
So I think both of us try not to think about, hey, this is coming to an end, which is, I get that it is reality coming.
It is going to change in the fact that you don't get to walk onto that practice field or in that locker room and your kid not be sitting there to get to hug and to conversate with and talk to and just tell him how proud you are of him.
It's kind of a bittersweet situation. They're realizing in the back of their mind that this is it. They won't be here. And, you know, when you turn around, they won't be running out on the field. They won't be at practice. You won't talk about it at night, you know, when you go home. And it's, you know, I've been through it. It's tough. It's tough because once you really realize it, you know, you don't get them back. And that's part of life. They'll realize it's part of life, but it's been a special ride for them.
To have him right there, to have my back, and for me to have his. When we get older and we look back, we're going to be like, what a special time this was.
Next year's sidelines will look different for McCrory for sure as Reed and Cason move on to their new adventures. Across the state in Boonville, Bearcat quarterback Randon Ray is chasing his own family legacy. He sat down with our Bobby Swafford to tell his story.
He can make a 1 or 2 yard run turn into a 80-yard touchdown run. You know, he's very special with the ball in his hands.
Boonville is the epitome of small-town America. You know, there's not a lot in town to do, but there's only one thing to do on Friday nights, and that's come watch the Bearcats. Growing up in a town like this, how important was it to you on Friday nights, and do you remember the first time you came to a Boonville football game?
I don't think I remember the very first time, but I was definitely out there every Friday night, you know. I always looked up to those guys. Just as a kid, that was the highlight of my week. Every week is just waiting on Friday to get here so I could head to the football game.
Did you think of them as superheroes when you were a younger kid?
Superstars.
Yeah. When you see little kids now in this town come up to you, I mean, do you remember back to your days?
Yeah,
thinking, man, those guys were awesome.
That's all I think of. Just like I wonder how they view me because I know how I feed those guys whenever I was younger.
You're used to hearing Ray over the PA system here in Boonville.
Right.
You mentioned his older brother. You said you know his dad, who holds the all-time rushing record in Boonville, which he's got a chance to break if things go right for you guys. Yeah. I mean, what does that family mean? And it almost is like that's the epitome of small-town high school football.
Yeah, I mean, that family means everything to this community. When you think about Boonville Bearcat football, you know, you think about the Ray family, and you think about everything that they've done for this program and will continue to do.
You got a chance at 4,000 yards rushing in your career. Is that a number that you thought of before coming into this season?
People tell me about the possibilities of me like getting the record and everything, but it's never been like a personal thought of mine. I never really paid much attention to it.
His dad, Gator, has he gotten in your ears like, hey, how about not as many carries tonight? I want to keep that record.
No, I think he wants to see him break it, I hope. But yeah, Gator's a good dude. He does a lot for our program still today. He just had another kid, but unfortunately it's a girl. So, but he does a lot for us, and I'm grateful for him.
You know, my dad is big time football. He's coached me and my brothers through like Pee Wee growing up and everything. So he's always got feedback on the game, like things that we did well, things we need to improve on, you know. It's kind of like a second coach when I get home, you know. I'm always like hearing his part of the game, what he saw about it. So,
you know, not many kids can say, hey, I ran for 1,000 yards 3 different times in high school. Even fewer can say, hey, I got 4,000. Even less can say, hey, I got a school record rushing yards. But what does state championship as a senior mean to you?
That's everything for me. 7th grade, in our off-season workouts, we were told to make goals for ourselves. And that was one of them I wrote down on a piece of paper, was state championship football. And, you know, I've been working for it every year and haven't got there yet. Hopefully this is his year.
He's an unbelievable leader. He's always doing what we ask him to do, plus some. He lives in the weight room, you know, does everything he needs to do in the classroom, takes care of business. And he's just a special person. And, you know, we're just trying to really enjoy our short amount of time we have left with him. But, you know, it's going to be a sad day in Boonville when he goes. But, you know, it's been great having the opportunity to coach him for sure.
Randon certainly has covered some ground this season, as have we during this halftime show. But now it's time to get back to the 3A championship action at War Memorial Stadium. And remember, keep up with all the sports action at Arkansas PBS by signing up at myarpbs.org/sign-up. I'm David Basil. See you next time here on the home of the high school football state finals, Arkansas PBS.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Back at War Memorial Stadium, getting ready for the second half kickoff. Prescott leads Harding Academy 12-3. I'm Wes Moore, joined by Bobby Swafford. And Bobby, if you had told me it was 12-3 at the half, I said, I don't think no, Bobby, the chances of that, I don't think so.
I mean, 33-20 might have been a more realistic prediction of the score, but we talked about it in the first half, how explosive the offenses are, but the defenses have come to play. They both give up 14 points or less per game on the season, and you're starting to see why. And the defensive fronts for both Prescott and Harding Academy are winning at the point of contact. They're winning at the line of scrimmage, and that's why these two offenses have really struggled to get it going.
Prescott's defense has been very impressive to hold Harding Academy to 3 points, basically one big play. That was the big play by Cade Smith, a scramble up the middle, and they tackled him inside the 10. That was a great 4-point play by the safety to tackle him, prevent the touchdown, and then the defense stiffened up and forced the field goal.
Yeah, 52 yards of their 118 total yards in the first half came on a quarterback scramble, so that tells you how suffocating that Prescott defense has been. There's no running lanes for Andrew Miller. There's nothing really there, obviously, in the passing game that you can pinpoint and say, okay, they can go to this in the second half. And so it meant not completely back to the drawing board for Harding Academy, but they're going to have to kind of circle the wagons, if you will, and try to find what's going to work for them in the second half.
Harding Academy is coming back onto the field. Prescott is warming up down on the other end. There were some highlights in the first half. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. And I think this is a quick little out pass, and it's just really to show you the defense from Prescott. And then that was Dickens on the tackle. Harding Academy with the great defensive play. They've had pressure on Poole all afternoon long. That's a sack right there from Harding Academy. More pressure on Poole. Let's look how many sacks they got. 3-4 sacks on the day on the first half. But this is one of the big plays from Prescott. Kalen Zachary cutting across the field and scoring the touchdown. That was the first touchdown for the Curly Wolves, and that gave them a 6-3 lead at the time. Another one of the 4 sacks from Harding Academy. And then this is the big play. Under pressure, finds his receiver across the middle of the field. That's one of the big throws that we saw Karsten Poole make. Here's the last big play from Poole, and he finds Grigsby in the end zone, that throwback play, and that's your score at the half, 12-3. Harding Academy trails Prescott. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Kyle Sutherland.
Coach, this is an unfamiliar territory for you guys down at the half. What'd you tell your guys at the break?
Well, I told them just that. You know, we've not been in a lot of tight ball games, which is, a good thing and a bad thing. I think the bad thing is you're kind of shell-shocked when a really good team like we're facing comes out and makes some good plays. And, I think you just end up in a situation where you start scrambling and think you got to press, and that's not the answer. I think we got to settle in and continue to do the things that are in the game plan, and I think it's obvious that offense has some things to them that we think are probably there. We just got to go make the plays when they're there.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Harding Academy's head coach, Neil Evans, 12-2 on the year, looking for a three-peat, but they got some work to make up here at War Memorial Stadium. Let's take a look at some of the first half stats. And it was stats really dominated by Prescott.
117 yards through the air. Big plays by the quarterback, Karsten Poole, really pushed the ball down the field, and a majority of that came in the second quarter. If you look at the first half stats, in the first 12 minutes of this contest, Prescott had 24 yards of offense. And so you see the production they had in the second quarter, and that's really the difference. Time of possession, the first downs, yards per play, pretty similar. But the second half production from that Curly Wolf offense is why they have a 9-point lead. 3 big plays from Prescott. Harris, a 44-yard catch. Dickens, a 46-yard catch. And Zachary, they're going to say that was a run of 64 yards. It is windy today. That's a good look at it. That shows you that wind blowing out of the north. It's every bit of 11 miles per hour, I promise you.
I think Kyle can tell us that better firsthand. Yep. He came in from halftime and said that wind was blowing pretty good.
Harding Academy going to receive the football, but Prescott's going to have the wind at their back. So Harding's going to get the football to start the second half and have the wind in the fourth quarter. So a little surprising Prescott didn't take the win for the fourth quarter, as Harding had the option here in the second half. But maybe they're thinking this is their chance to put the game away, not let Harding Academy come out of the half with any kind of momentum.
We're going to see a different kicker, I believe, for Prescott. Rabidon, a sophomore. And that's kicks it right there short at the 30-yard line. Was that Dickens again on the special teams tackle? I think I saw 7 flash in there.
It's in there. It's going to be good field position, though, for Harding Academy. They get up to the 36, and we'll see what the kind of adjustments Coach Evans and company came up with at the half, because most of it started with protection. Of course, they want to run the football with Andrew Miller, a 1,500-yard running back, 28 touchdowns. He hasn't had a lot of touches.
7 carries. I got to think he's going to get twice that in the second half.
170 carries on the season. I would think if you're going to jumpstart your offense, number 8 would be a good way to do it.
Check in the sideline. Got the play now. They're ready to go. Miller has it. Miller cross the 40. Breaks out of the tackle to the 43. That's 7 yards on first down before Thompson brings him down.
That's what we saw early in that first quarter, Wes, is he was able to finish runs, get 5-6 yards of carry, and they just kind of got away from it.
He's going to roll and spin his way for a first down. So back-to-back carries by Miller gives Harding Academy first down.
Saw at the very end of that play, the left tackle, Jacob Brazell, finished off a pancake block, and I think that front was probably challenged at the half for Harding.
See a little theme. Miller breaks loose, gets the first down, all the way down to the 33-yard line. Patrick finally brings him down, but that's another first down.
They ran for 2,200 yards on the season in their first 14 contests, did Harding Academy. I think the question was asked, all right, guys, you're going to step up and make plays on your offensive front, and we're starting to see they're leaning on the big uglies.
Picking up the pace a little bit. Try a little reverse to Hoover, and Hoover has nothing because Patrick makes his second tackle in a row.
A nice job by Patrick as a Prescott defender has to come off. He stays at home, able to chop him down. Again, good outside leverage, though, by the Prescott defenses. Even if Patrick doesn't make that play, that one's going nowhere.
Loss of 2. 2nd and 12. Smith to pass. Now he's going to scramble. Room to run up the middle. He slides down at the 27, so he picks up about 8 on the play.
The straight drop back, the middle of the field appears to be open for Harding Academy. We'll see if they want to maybe dial up just a straight quarterback draw a time or two here in this second half. Try to exploit a hole in the defense for the Curly Wolves.
3rd and 4. I got to think this is 4-down territory going into the win. I know they got a great kicker. Down 9. Smith to Miller. Miller picking his way. Gets across the 35, the 25 to the 24. He's going to be a yard short. He picked up 3 on 3rd down. It'll be 4th and 1.
Miller's been the key to the cog right here on this drive for Harding Academy. And I think on 3rd and 1, likely not going to change the recipe here if you're Harding Academy. I think it looks like Prescott may be burning the timeout.
The Prescott coaches, they were upset about something. I don't know if it was a lineman or personnel on the field, but they're going to burn a timeout. They know this is a big play right here.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. I mean, it's got obviously 4-down territory. Your offensive line has paved the way just all the way down the field on this drive. No point to deviate too far from it here. You've got a couple freshmen up front, though, for Harding Academy. You try to line up behind some of your upperclassmen. Lean on those guys to make a play.
Got a couple seniors on that left side with Brooks Petty and Jacob Brazil. Freshman Kanan Harris at center. A freshman Josh Llewellyn at right guard. And then a sophomore, Jack Seeger, over on the right tackle. So that right side underclassman, left side is going to be your older guys.
And you'd likely see that flip next year because you want your experience, your quality. I'm not going to say they're not quality, but your more experienced players on the backside protecting the blind side of your quarterback. This is a big 4th down play coming up for both sides. And Prescott's defense made a big stop in the red zone, the first drive, and Harding Academy knocking on the door for the red zone again.
Prescott is 3 for 3 on 4th down. This is the first 4th down attempt for Harding Academy. High snap, but he gets it away, and they got the first down. That was the offensive line doing it. They just got a big push, and Miller didn't have to even make a move. He just got in behind them and picked up the first down.
And the original line of scrimmage there was the 24, and as soon as it snapped, the line of scrimmage moved to the 22, so a nice push from the front 5 for Harding Academy. Now the Wildcats have a chance to capitalize on an impressive opening drive of this second half.
Looks like Harding Academy's picking up the pace a little bit. They're going to keep it this time. Smith picking his way, gets across the 20, down to the 19, picks up a couple yards. Dickens on the tackle.
Not a whole lot there, either on the give or the option read there for Harding Academy. Just Prescott just swarming to the football. I think they probably recognize that Harding wants to run the football here in the second half and starting to play downhill.
Miller now up to 70 yards. Smith has 67. He wants to pass. He's got a receiver across the middle and just led Fox just by a hair. Fox couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, Fox was pointing at something. I think his vision might have been blocked. That's 2 drops now for the leading receiver for Harding Academy. The official. The pass was going right towards the umpire's head, and he ducked and blocked the vision of Fox there as he couldn't make the play.
Sometimes the offense uses that back judge as a decoy or as a kind of a screener. That time he got in their way.
Yeah. You can't blame him. He's exactly where he's supposed to be.
3rd and 8. They need to get to about the 11. Smith has a receiver, and it's Miller for the touchdown. Back shoulder throw. Miller makes the adjustment. The DB didn't, and Miller gets into the end zone.
Playing defense in today's modern football is so hard because that's really good coverage on Miller as a slot receiver. But you mentioned the back shoulder throw, a perfect strike from Smith. And he makes the adjustment on the play and hauls it in. And what a drive to start the second half for Harding Academy as they close it to a field goal game.
Back-to-back champs. Just knew they weren't going away. High snap. Kick is up. High kick. Not going to block that one. It's good. We got a ball game. Harding Academy scores a touchdown on their first drive to make it 12-10. You are watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
You can experience the action all over again next week. You can watch all of the championship games and Arkansas PBS features at youtube.com/Arkansas PBS.
A 10-play drive by Harding Academy narrows the score to 12-10. We were wondering about Andrew Miller in the first half and thought maybe he would see some more touches in the second half. Well, sure enough, 5 carries and then the reception for the touchdown. 6 times he touched the ball on that 10-play drive.
60% of the touches on that drive is another kickoff, sails into the end zone. When he's your offense, when he's got 2,000 yards of total offense on the season, you knew at some point Harding Academy was going to have to go to their old reliable. And as you mentioned, 6 of their 10 plays go to number 8. And that's why Harding Academy's closed this to a 12-10 margin.
How about the leg on Kyle Ferry? Into that wind, he still gets the touchback. It looks like the wind's dying down a little bit, but that's still impressive to nail that into the end zone for the touchback. He's just a junior, and Arkansas just lost their kickoff specialist.
Yeah.
I hear that Ferry's got Baylor on his mind.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for Prescott. You got a flag.
They're going to get movement in the backfield.
But there was some confusion. I saw the back was
illegal substitution, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
They got too many out there. I saw Travion Dickens was in the backfield, and he was waving like something was wrong.
They just took a player out, didn't replace him, so that tells you they had too many men on the field. It's a perfect start to the second half for Harding Academy. Not an ideal start for their first possession here in the second half for Prescott.
Poole fakes the handoff. He's looking to throw, and he gets hit as he throws. Ball's in the air, and it's picked off. Harding Academy picks it off. Eli Wallace. There's a duck flying out here, and Wallace, with his back to the goal, over the shoulder catch.
Again, just the pressure from the defensive front. 45 makes the play on the quarterback. Cooper Welch, the defensive lineman, wins the battle up front, gets just enough of Poole's arm. That ball shoots straight up in the air, and what an athletic play to make that. Because they tell you as a catcher, turn your back to the mound. It almost looked like a baseball-type play there to make the interception. As he kind of thought that, hey, the football might bring it back to me, or the wind might bring it back to me. And Harding Academy takes advantage of, I believe it's the first
turnover of the game. Eli Wallace high-fiving some of the fans over there, gets his third interception of the season. It's Miller again. Miller bouncing it outside. Miller brought down inside the 20. Let's go down the sideline, check in with Kyle.
Guys, we saw Caleb Harris, the tight end and Division I prospect for Prescott, take that hard shot in the first half. He is walking around right now in a sweatshirt. Still got his pants on, but in a lot of pain walking around in a sweatshirt right now.
2nd and 5 for Harding Academy. Third quarter, looking to take the lead.
That's a big blow for Prescott on both sides of the football. Harris is a playmaker, made a couple on offense in that first half. So if he can't return, that's a dimension of the offense with the Curly Wolves they don't have.
High snap, Smith keeps it. Smith down to about the 10. That's a first down. Bell brings him down.
You got to believe this second half, Wes, is going to be all that offensive line for Harding Academy against the defensive front for Prescott. They're going to say, to heck with throwing the football in this wind. If we can run it and churn up big yardage, we're just going to lean on that, and especially when you get a defensive turnover. Now Harding's got a chance to take the lead as they're inside the 10.
First and goal. Smith keeps it. He's got blockers. Smith spinning. Touchdown, Wildcats.
He was untouched until he ran into his own lineman. Those guys up front have paved the way for 2 touchdown drives in the first 5 minutes and change here in this second half. And Harding Academy is certainly feeling it on that far sideline.
Harding Academy appears to be going for 2. It's 12-10.
Push the margin to 6 points. They get a 2-point conversion. That's
16-12. Sorry, I can't. I'm standing right here in front of the scoreboard. I can't read it. 16-12. You're right.
And you think of why you're chasing points now. With Prescott missing their first 2 extra points, 6 points is a margin that's big enough.
Shovel pass. Finds a receiver, but Fox can't get in there. Smith was under pressure. That play was blown up from the start. Glass makes the tackle, but just got to give credit to Prescott's defense for blowing that play up. And Smith was trying to create something and found Fox, but couldn't get in for the 2-point conversion.
And that turnover, Prescott was looking to push the ball down the field, much like they did in that second quarter with the wind at their back. They're trying to take advantage of it, but going into the wind, Harding Academy able to put up 13 quick points in this third quarter. And now Prescott's got to weather the storm and try to answer back without what you could probably call their 2 biggest playmakers. And the running back Hobson, who's missed the last few weeks, and now Harris, who's sidelined with what looked like to be either a chest or an arm injury.
We highlighted the 4 sacks from Harding Academy in the first half. They didn't get a sack on that interception, but that's what created that interception. Kyle Ferry with the kick. It's into the end zone. That's going to be his 4th touchback of the game.
How many times he kicked it off? He's got a touchback. That's just a weapon that most teams don't have.
Especially against Prescott. No, their speed. You think about special teams and how many times you see big plays from fast guys on kick returns.
And just forcing a team to go 80 yards on you every time, it starts to wear on you mentally. Celebrate game day under the arches. You got access to tons of benefits through our rewards program. It's available today on the McDonald's app. We're loving it.
For the first time since early in the first quarter, Prescott's offense takes the field trailing. They're now down 16-12. Poole's going to hand it off to Grigsby. Grigsby spins. Gets 4 on first down.
So maybe if you're Prescott, you've seen that Harding Academy has challenged their offensive line. Maybe you trust your guys up front to start making life a little easier on you.
2nd and 6. Poole hands it off. Dickens gets close to the first down. It's going to depend on the mark. Lawson Brooks makes the tackle.
Give it to him. Give him the 30.
Stop the clock for a second and move those chains.
Dickens has 13 carries on the season coming into today, but averages 10 yards a tote. That job, that time he gets just enough, gets 6 and a fresh set of downs for the Curly Wolves.
Dickens still in there. He's going to take it again. Bounces it outside. Nowhere to go. That's a loss of a yard.
It's a great pursuit. You have 5 Harding Academy defensive players right around the football when he finally goes down, and that makes life so tough for you as a running back. When you think you've made a cut to bounce it outside, you might pick up a few extra yards, and they beat you to the spot.
2nd and 11. Dickens goes out. Grigsby's back in. 12 on the play clock. Poole back to throw. Under pressure, got a screen set up to Grigsby. Grigsby across the 35 to the 37. He's going to pick up 8 on that play. Eli Wallace on the tackle.
It's a nice design to that. You get Harding rushing upfield. They've had so much success getting after the quarterback. They just sneak the running back out on a middle screen and able to pick up 7, maybe 8 yards and put yourself in a 3rd and manageable.
Kennedy Rush also there to help Wallace. 3rd and 4. Need to get to the 40. Poole keeps it. Poole has the first down. Ball's loose. Harding Academy has it. 2nd straight turnover.
It's a great job defensively. Poole had enough yardage for the first down marker, but arms came in, the ball pops out, and Harding Academy's defense is creating offense for the Wildcats, and here's going to be a good look at it.
This is the first hit from Rush. Rush hit him, and the ball came out early. I thought when he was falling forward is when the ball came out, but as soon as Kennedy Rush hit Poole, the ball came out. So they take over 1st and 10 at the 41. Miller picking his way. Miller still on his feet across the 25 down to the 23-yard line.
You got to do everything you can right here if you're Prescott to hold them to a field goal, keep it a 1-possession game. You got to be feeling really good about yourself up 9 at the half. But the way that they've been playing right now, Harding Academy's offense, they're going to be tough to stop this running attack here in this 3rd and 4th quarter.
Miller just brought down. That was a great tackle from Tadorian Thompson. He just shot through that offensive line and tackled Miller in the backfield.
You've got to force Harding Academy to play behind the chains. They've been winning first down on their first 2 possessions. Now you call this the 3rd possession of this 3rd quarter. Got to start making plays up front for the Prescott defense.
Smith looking over at the sideline. He's got a receiver. Just sat down at the 20-yard line. That was Fox. Brought down by Zachary.
Nice job by Zachary to close. Looked like there might have been some yardage after the catch possibilities, but Zachary able to close quickly and chops him down right when he makes the catch.
Job of Smith just taking what the defense gave them.
They're looking for Miller on the corner route, and it was good coverage to take away his initial read.
3rd and 6. Miller's in the slot right now to the left of the quarterback. Pressure coming, gets rid of it, has a receiver in the end zone, knocked away at the last second. What a play by Tidwell. Looked like he had his receiver open, going to Coke in the end zone, and
as soon as I was watching the one-on-one matchup at the top of the screen, and you can see he's got the 2 steps on Tidwell, but the closing speed, the ball held up just a little bit going back into that wind, and that forces prevents a touchdown and forces Harding Academy to settle for another field goal attempt.
36-yard field goal from Kyle Ferry, the left-footed junior kicker. High, long enough, it's good.
Right into the wind. What a big-time kick. And that just lands right in the front row of the bleachers here at War Memorial Stadium. He can hit it from 60 going the other direction. That time, it took every bit of leg that he had to get it from 37.
They increased their lead. Harding Academy 19, Prescott 12. Now they have a touchdown lead.
That was a 3rd quarter. That was a big stop for Prescott right there to hold them to a field goal, to keep it a 1-possession game. Because you don't think that the difference between 7 and 10 points really sounds all that great, but just the extra possession could really take a lot out of you mentally And so now the Curly Wolves know they can go down, put together a solid drive, and tie this game right back up.
Or one big play. And we've seen Prescott with several big plays this game. That's all they're one big play away from possibly tying this up.
We'll send a big shout-outs to Ashley Media for helping us get the word about state championships. We, of course, appreciate their support as we've got, shocking, another touchback.
It was just a driving kick into the wind. Very impressed with Kyle Ferry.
He's the junior, too. I remember, he perked my interest last year as we watched him in that state championship game. Granted, he had a lot of chances at it as they scored up with 71 on McGee a season ago in the finals.
It's a great memory.
It's not just a hat rack up here.
A little something inside that brain of yours. Prescott, they got to get something figured out on offense now. They looked really good in the first half. In the second half, they've got an interception on the first drive, a fumble on the second drive.
They got to try to find a way to get the ball to Zachary. He's their explosive playmaker on offense, and they line up in the Wildcat, and they got flags before the snap.
So they're just going to snap it directly to Grigsby.
Illegal substitution, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's the second straight drive that this has happened. What are we seeing? The illegals. What are they calling here?
I think they've got 12 men on the field again. And that's not great. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah, there's 12 guys. There's still 12 out there.
Yeah, so there's too many men out there for Prescott, and those are just mental mistakes that you can't make.
They bring a receiver off. Maybe that was the game plan. We can't score with 11. We're going to play with 12. Grigsby has it, goes over the right side. He picks up the penalty yards.
If we take another look at that, it looked like the two players in the backfield might have collided. Grigsby's head kind of snapped to the left. And right after he took the snap, I
think the running back came across and hit his face mask and popped his head up in the air.
That slowed him down just a little bit. That could have potentially been a bigger gain of 5, but at least they get back to the original line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. Bradley's in the backfield right now with Poole. Fake it to Bradley. Poole's looking to throw, and he's going deep across the middle. Quadruple coverage, and he's picked off. A juggling catch made by Cason Campbell.
Trying to do too much with Prescott there, and predetermined where he was going to throw the football, trusting the arm a little too much, and 4 white jerseys around the football. And as you mentioned, that's an easy interception. And Prescott likely lucky he didn't keep his feet there because that had a potential for a big return, and now Harding got a chance to put even more points on the board after already having 16 here in this third quarter.
Great catch from Akpanudo. And there was some doubt if he would come back in the second half. He was in a lot of pain. Kyle was telling us he was in a lot of pain in the first half. Well, he's back, and he's back in a big way. 3rd straight turnover for the Prescott defense. Harding Academy looking to capitalize. They're going deep. They got a receiver open. He makes the catch, and he's got room to run. Harding Academy back on the scoreboard. That's Landon Koch with the big catch. 1-play drive, 58 yards. It's a 2-possession lead for Harding Academy. These Wildcats have come to play in the second half.
That's why you run the football so much for when you're Miller and Harding Academy. You start wearing on that defensive front. You start them to creep up. They go man-to-man on the outside, and Koch just wins the one-on-one battle with Tidwell on the outside and simple go route. The quarterback put it on him, and the dam has apparently broke for the Prescott defense as points are flooding in for the Wildcats.
17 straight points here in the third quarter if the extra point is good. Got a flag on the play. They'll move it back 5 and kick it again.
5-yard penalty.
I don't think that'll be a problem for Ferry.
So now you look at potentially going into the fourth quarter, try to stop this bleeding. You're going to be going into the wind if you're Prescott. And so now that passing game going to be limited.
Extra point attempt is good. Now we'll give them 17 straight points. What a third quarter from Harding Academy. Very impressive.
They've done it on the ground, and that time they go to the air, but it all starts with the defense, Wes. I mean, we talked about how effective they've been all season long, giving up just 13.7 points per contest. 3 consecutive drives from Prescott that have ended in turnovers, all of which have happened at the 40 or back. So they've had great field position, and more importantly, their offense has been able to take advantage of the free possessions.
I've been drinking Dr. Pepper all throughout the first half. I'm going to go get me a Coke after that play from Landon. That was nice.
See what you did there. It's better than drinking what the running back's named after.
It's later. Another kickoff. This one might make it. No, it's not going to make it. Prescott's going to have a chance to return their first kickoff of the game. Grigsby across the 20 to the 23-yard line, brought down by Brooks.
Mentally, as a kickoff unit, you probably don't think I've got to go down and make a play, but nice job by Harding to go down and make a play on special teams. You want a copy of this title game or any other state championship matchup, just go to mmproductions.net. Place your order. We got 4A game tonight. 2A games have been pushed back to tomorrow because of all the wild weather we had here in Central Arkansas last night.
Kyle, you may need to go check on Grigsby. He's about on the 25-yard line on the sideline. He's in some pain after that kick return, so he's not in the game right now. That's Zachary going to take the reverse. They fake the reverse, and Zachary's got some room on the outside to the 40, 45, pushed out of bounds. Big play from Prescott. McGahey pushes him out of bounds.
Great job, a great play design as they fake the reverse to the quarterback. So you're thinking, okay, maybe they're going to try a trick play and pitch it back to the quarterback and throw it deep. Zachary keeps it. His second big rushing play against Prescott and Territon near midfield.
He is fast. Going to hand that one off to Bradley. Bradley brought down on the 48. That was a good tackle from Harding Academy. Chisholm makes the tackle in open field, and that's right at the line of scrimmage.
If Chisholm doesn't come up from his free safety spot and make that play, he's likely up the sideline, and that might have been a big gainer for the Curly Wolf offense. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
Tackling in space. How many times you hear a coach talk about that?
Those one-on-one plays, I mean, that's the kind of the game within the game. We've got the teams who make the simple plays often give themselves a chance to win.
Bradley still in the game. Pull. He wanted to throw, and he pulled it down. They're going to say he was down. I don't think he gained anything.
Well, that's going to be about a loss of a half a yard. So
let's give Wallace a sack then.
He'll get credit for a sack. And again, another play in space. If he doesn't make that play, tripped him up just enough. That would have been big gainage on the quarterback scramble, but instead, it's 3rd and long.
3rd and 11. Poole looking to throw. He's got a receiver out there. Needs to break a tackle to get the first down, and another open field tackle. That McGahey does it again. If he makes McGahey miss, he picks up the first down. Instead, he's 2 yards short.
I think this is definitely going to go for it here if you're Prescott. That time they finally gave their quarterback, Poole, time to throw the football, hit his receiver in stride. But again, a great play on the outside prevents the first down from being picked up. Now a big 4th down opportunity here. That was a Prescott offense.
Grigsby back in the game, so it's good to see him make a play. Poole going to keep it. He's got the first down. So once again, Prescott goes for it on 4th down, and they are now 4 for 4 on 4th down.
Yeah, they've been successful. Most of them have been short opportunities. But that time, trusting the right side of your offensive line to straight quarterback lead, and Poole does enough to pick up yardage.
1st and 10, ball on the 40. Zachary coming in motion. He's got a blocker, makes one man miss, but not the second man. Picks up 8.
It's a great job getting the kick-out block out in front to lead the way for Zachary. He cuts it up and picks up good yardage on first down, and now you get the full use of the playbook for Prescott.
Chisholm on the tackle. Could be the last play of the quarter. Poole is going to keep it. Outruns one defender, gets the first down to the sideline, out of bounds at the 24-yard line, pushed out of bounds by Cason. Let's go down to the sideline, check in with Kyle.
You saw on that last drive, Cason Akpenudu. Of course, we weren't sure if he was going to come back, and he came in with authority, getting his 6th interception of the season. That ties the team lead, and he didn't even start playing football till this past June.
1st and 10, ball's on the 23. Zachary with it. Running over the left side. Has a couple blockers, but just fighting through defenders. That was a great play by the Harding Academy defense. Welch gets the tackle. I'm not sure who broke it up. That's going to do it for the third quarter. It was a third quarter owned by Harding Academy, but Prescott is driving, trying to make this a one-possession game. Fourth quarter action coming up. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first. By empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charity, education, and exceptional service, because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind, Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
I think athletics are really important for young people. It teaches you to not only trust others, but to help others when they need a pick-me-up. And I think high school athletics do a great job of saying, hey, I can lead you, I can show you how to do something, or I can follow your example. I'm Bobby Swafford, and I just ask that you think about giving to Arkansas PBS.
This month in Passport on the PBS video app.
Feels like a oneness, and it's refreshing.
Starring Cara Toynton and Julian Ovington. Don't miss the sound of music.
And the American Pops for a star-studded holiday celebration of American jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS video app.
Interested in what's next on our great Arkansas PBS lineup after the state football finals? Just visit myarpbs.org/schedule to see what's coming up. You can set program reminders.
2nd and 10. Poole finds his receiver Grigsby spinning. Brought down by 2 Wildcats at the 13-yard line. That's close. He may have that first down.
They're going to give it to him. I like the idea, just the simple stop route. You think in the red zone, you may just be running a simple go route, try to get to that back pylon. That time, Grigsby just cuts it off at 10 yards, makes the play, and picks up a new set of downs.
Poole to Bradley. Bradley up the middle, cross the 10, driving. Mercer on the tackle.
This is obvious 4-down territory, Wes, but we were talking during the break. Prescott's got to put the ball in the end zone on this drive. Got to be able to find a way to extend this game.
Poole, quick throw out to Zachary. Zachary makes a couple of moves. Ooh, and now he's coming reversing field, and he's got a whole host of blockers and walks into the end zone. What a run from Zachary.
That's why you run a little flare out to Zachary. You try to get him the ball in space, and that time he has to reverse field, and about the time he crossed the hash, he saw 5 red jerseys out in front, and this is going to be a great angle at it. You see all the red jerseys out in front. He has got a convoy of blockers, including his quarterback, into the end zone.
Woo! He is fun to watch.
We'll go for 2.
Our question was answered, and they are going to go for 2, struggling on extra points. Poole has it. Rolls to his right. Pitches it out to Bradley. Bradley trying to get a block. He's pulled down from behind. It's no good. Wallace with the tackle, so it's an 8-point game. We talked about this earlier. They were struggling with the extra points. Do you have enough faith, if you're going to come back and tie this game, that your kicker can make 2 extra points in a row? My answer was, I don't think so.
Yep.
And you thought the same thing, so why not go for 2?
Yeah, because you're still only down 1 possession. It's an 8-point game. But that play, great job by the Harding defense to recognize option pretty quickly. They haven't run it up to this point in this contest, have pressed it, but the Wildcat defense maintains their assignment, keeps outside leverage, get the pitch man, and prevent the 2-point conversion.
And don't forget that you're kicking into a win. That makes it even tougher for your kicker.
You're 0 for 2 with the wins, and no point risking it going into it.
Again, 8-point game. Prescott still, can tie it up with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
We'll find a way to get a stop defensively, though. Harding Academy was rolling offensively in that third quarter. Scored 23 straight points in that third period. We'll find a way to make a play defensively.
Wildcats all bunched up expecting a short kick, and that's what it is. It's Fox with it. Fox across almost to the 40. He's brought down by Bell. So Harding Academy starts off at their own 38.
Gotta believe this drive going to start with Miller for Harding Academy. Had 8 touches in the first half, had 9 touches in the third quarter. I know who their bell cow is. I want to find it. Their playmaking running back. At 94 yards rushing, 28 yards receiving, but does have a touchdown catch.
Fourth quarter, the state championship game. You're up 8. Who are you giving it to?
Number 8. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt about it. Miller over the left side gets a key block across the 50, across the 40, still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 25-yard line. That's a 36-yard gain on first down by Miller.
Could have easily stepped out of bounds, but instead he tiptoes the sideline, breaks the tackle, and picks up big yardage after contact. And he just knows how to finish runs. What a great job of staying in bounds, and picks up another 10, maybe even 15 yards. And that's why you give it to number 8 when the game's on the line.
Simmons blocking downfield. This time Smith's going to keep it. He's got Miller helping him out. Smith spins down to about the 14-yard line.
Just the response. That's always the big question, Wes, is who's going to respond when the other team punches you in the mouth. That time, Prescott puts together a nice drive, goes down and scores, cuts it to a one-possession game, and quickly Harding Academy answers. And they're in the red zone.
Miller with it. Miller, look at him drive. Still moving the pile. He's down almost to the 10. Dickens finally brings him down. Travion Dickens has had a heck of a game for Prescott. Another first down for Harding Academy. 10 minutes to go. Final quarter of the 3A state championship game. First and 10, Miller with it. Miller bowling his way down. We got a flag down. Looked like I think I saw a flag come down.
That's the far 10-yard line. He came in from behind the play, and that's generally going to be against the offense. And the Harding offensive linemen already starting to make their way back.
You can tell Miller's feeling it. He just kind of sized up that defensive back.
Hold it. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Pretty clean game. Not a lot of penalties, but that one's big. It's just going to put Harding Academy well behind the chains. Going to be first and close to 20, I believe.
Just the 5th penalty for Harding Academy. Prescott's also been called for 5 flags or 5 penalties.
First and 19, it looks like.
He can pick up a first down right around the 1. They try to get Prescott to jump. They moved but didn't come across into the neutral zone. Smith alone in the backfield. He's going to keep it and run. Follows his big left guard. He's got room to run. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Harding Academy.
I thought that might be a call they dialed up. Wes, is the middle of the field on passing situations has been open for the Prescott defense. And first and 20, they just go quarterback draw. And what a run and what a way to finish the run by Cade Smith as he lunges for the end zone. And it looks like they've already reviewed this one and call it good. So Wildcats back in to the end zone.
If we see that play again, I want you to watch Josh Llewellyn, the freshman, the right guard pulling. He followed him. Josh got a big block, and he was free. Extra point is up, and it is good. Harding Academy increases their lead 33-18. You are watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
Special thanks to Community Bakery for providing food for our crew and their continued support of Arkansas PBS.
I think the Harding Academy fans are feeling it. The student section is getting all riled up. They lead 33-18. They're 9.5 minutes away from a third straight state championship. 8-time champs looking for number 9.
Wildcats looking to leave 3A on top. So they'll be moving up to 4A next year.
Ferry through the end zone. Prescott takes over at their own 20. Down 15.
Speaking of 4A, that championship game coming up tonight. And we expect to see a few fireworks between Joe T. Robinson and Shiloh Christian.
Next year we will have new champs in 4A for sure because Shiloh and Robinson both move up. 5A will have a new champ because Pulaski Academy is moving up. Because 6A, we could, El Dorado will still be in 6A. And of course, Bryant's, unless they create an 8A just for Bryant, I think we're fine there too.
Lobbied, you win 4 state championships at 7A in Arkansas. That should make you play in Texas next year, but they're telling me that's not legal.
Poole needing points, fakes the handoff to Bradley, quick pass out to Grigsby. Grigsby drops it. They never had it.
They tried to set up the tunnel screen, coming back into the middle of the field, and Grigsby just couldn't haul that one in. Had some blockers out in front. Just tried to run before he hauled it in.
Notice they've moved Grigsby out to receiver more now. He was playing a lot of running back in the first half, and they're having to throw it more, so they want Grigsby out there with Zachary as their weapons.
415 yards receiving on the year for Grigsby.
Poole, they did a double move and threw it. And Zachary ran down, stopped after about 10 yards like it was just going to be a quick little stop, but it was a stop and go. But Harding Academy was all over it.
Yeah, their bracket coverage in Zachary, they had a corner man-to-man and a safety over the top, and they did not bite on that double move. And Poole just throws it over the top of everybody. Now it's going to be 3rd and long.
They got Chisholm dedicated just as a double team on Zachary. Needs somebody else to step up.
I'm trying to get him coming across the field, whether a post or a deep cross, to negate the benefit of that safety over the top.
Bradley in motion. Poole going to scramble, and he's brought down. The Harding Academy defense brings him down. Butterfield once again.
A great job by Butterfield. They're going to say Prescott lost the football, and they're going to give Harding the ball inside the 5.
So that was a sack, a fumble cause, and a recovery.
Here's a look at the replay. Just Butterfield wins the battle there over the left tackle. And you can see the ball does pop out.
It was when Mercer came in, knocked the ball out, and then Welch recovers it. So 3 of the 4 defensive linemen get in on the action.
That's a tough break for Prescott. You're already going to be faced to 4th and long, but the ball comes out. Now Harding Academy got a chance to essentially put this game away with 9 minutes left here in the 4th.
Fittingly, it could be another sack from Harding Academy that gets this done. Going to just keep it, and sure enough, follows the lineman in. That's another touchdown. It's all Harding Academy right now. Cade Smith just followed the big guys and walked into the end zone.
They challenged their offensive line at the half. It's obvious, and Coach Evans' front 5 have responded. As the ball came out after he crossed the goal line, that touchdown's going to stand, and 3 points at the half has turned into 39 already for Harding Academy. 36 points in a quarter and 3 minutes for the Wildcats.
And what Smith was impressive, too, because we have seen Travion Dickens make tackle after tackle, and Dickens was right there in the hole, met him in the hole, and Smith put his head down and powered his way into the end zone.
Just finishing, and the physicality of Harding in this second half, I think, is really starting to wear down a Prescott team that's as Coach Glass told us at the half, they're going to have to dig into the depth. And I think they've really worn down the Curly Wolf defense, and they just don't have an answer. They don't have a stop in them to slow down Harding's attack, and that's why they're about to leave 3A as the 3-time defending state champion.
We've seen Dickens on offense also. So you're at a point in the game where he may be just worn down, tending to an injured player, and I wasn't able to see. It looks like it's just a cramp. They're rubbing out his calf. So hopefully he'll be fine.
It's a little cool day. I mean, expect to see some cramps last night. Felt like it was 75 degrees and 99% humidity before the storms rolled in. Today it's a little chilly, a little windy.
Speaking of cramps, what's it TV station Thursday? And I yawned so hard, I caught a cramp under my chin. That muscle right under your chin, it cramped up on me. It was like a little spot, and I could not. I'm sitting here rubbing it, trying to, like she's rubbing on his calf. I'm rubbing on that. I've never caught a cramp. See, I didn't even know there was a muscle there.
See, what you got to do is that's not enough work. You got to tell the news director, hey, I got to get on TV. You got to let me talk more to work out my neck muscle so I don't start cramping up during the newscast.
You see this chart right here? That's what I was doing. I was building these charts, and after all this writing and stuff, I was just worn out. That's a lot of information on these charts right here to prepare for these games. There it is. There's a good look at the chart. A lot of information. Am I holding it up right side? Yeah. You see that? That's a lot of names, stats, and good tidbits from the coaches. It's a lot of work to prepare for these games, and I just wore myself out.
Fatigue set in.
Fatigue, yeah. So I feel the pain right there of Thompson. He's had a tough day and made a lot of tackles, and he's been all over the field. He got that cramp worked out. He's able to walk off on his own power.
Ferry on the 50 for 1.
Ferry to remain perfect on the day. Kicks it halfway up the stadium.
He's got college future in his near future and another state championship as they've opened up a 22-point lead. How long ago does it feel like it was 12-3 Prescott at the half?
And that's why I said it was just remarkable to me what Prescott was able to do in the first half defensively to hold Harding Academy to 3 points. I've seen a lot of Harding Academy this year, and we've had a lot of highlights on Fearless Friday, and it's usually touchdowns or even defensive touchdowns. They had a period there where they were scoring on defense and offense and just routing opponents, and for them to be held to 3 points, it was really mind-blowing. And this is the Harding Academy I think most people are used to, putting up 37 points, and like you said, 1 quarter in less than 3 minutes.
Had 118 yards of offense in that first half. In the third quarter, in almost 3 minutes, they've got 239 yards of offense.
And the defenses continue to sparkle. They've been sacking the quarterback, causing turnovers, 3 turnovers in the second half as Ferry kicks it into the end zone again for another touchback.
Yeah, they've made the plays. I mean, there was a stretch. It was 3 consecutive turnovers. You add the sack and the strip down here. I mean, it's just defense has been leading the offense, and all in the second half, 4 turnovers forced led to 23 points scored. And that's the tale of the game. In big-time games and small-time games, doesn't matter when you're playing, who you're playing. If you turn the football over, that puts you behind the 8 ball as far as trying to win a game. And well, the turnovers have piled up for Prescott. Harding Academy has certainly taken advantage.
In the depth, I think, too, is finally starting to show. The injuries have taken a toll on Prescott. You know, we've already told you they're without the best player, Jalen Hobson, out with the broken leg. But, you know, in this game alone, we've also seen Caleb Harris, their tight end. He also plays defense. He's out of the game. We also saw one of Marion Dickens go out of the game. I don't think he's been back in. Number 5 for Prescott. He plays cornerback, and he's on offense also. So it's when you start losing that many key players, you know, it's next man up mentality, but at some point it takes its toll, and I think we're seeing that here in the second half.
Yeah, there's one thing to have injuries and have to dip in the depth, but you're talking about your best players, your best playmakers for Prescott are on the sideline. 5, 33, the running backs, number 4. I mean, those are 50, 60, maybe even 70% of your offensive production on the sideline in street clothes. And it's tough to win games, especially a program as quality as Harding Academy, when you're just not full strength. And it's unfortunate to see for a team that's 14-0 and rolled through the regular season, but the injuries eventually caught up with Prescott and going to be the cause of their downfall.
39, Poole looking downfield, and it's almost picked off. Ball falls to the ground. Chisholm with it. Chisholm was thinking about a pick six. They were looking for Travion Dickens.
Waited count too long. Did Poole to unload that when he should have thrown it about there, and waited an extra second and allowed Harding Academy defensive back Chisholm to make a break on that play. And fortunate for Prescott, that wasn't an interception going back the other direction.
4th and 9, really don't have a choice now. Down 22. It's a 3-possession game. Not a whole lot of time left in this game, so you have to score here. Need to get the ball to the 30. Poole rolls to his right. We got a flag on the play. Under pressure, he scrambles. Needs to break one tackle. He doesn't. He's going to be short. Let's see what the flag is.
We're going to get a legal shift for Prescott. They had 2 men moving, and they did not get reset before the ball was snapped. So if you're Harding Academy, you decline this one. You get a 4th down stop, and your offense back out on the field.
There you go. Harding Academy's pointing the other way. We'll get the official word. The defense gets it done.
Yep, that's been the story this entire second half. They forced 4 turnovers. They get a turnover on downs there. The Wildcat defense has jump-sparked their offense, and they got a chance to tack on even more points.
Got to figure, just we're going to see a lot of running here, right? Run the ball. Although if they're going to start doing some run blitzes here, you got one-on-one, no safety. Miller, big hole. Miller fighting his way close to the 10.
It's also a downfall of the run blitz. If your initial wave doesn't get there, there's nobody behind you. Miller breaks off another one as he's over 100 yards now rushing, well over 100 yards rushing.
Look at this hole.
On front 5 you've got on the chart that you spent so much time on, Wes. That's been the key in the second half.
Well, they have some reserves in that's not on my chart. That just shows you the depth. Some players that are missing, and that linebacker unit all of a sudden that time I saw Yates in, and Yates was blitzing, and they caught Yates. That time Yates makes the tackle. He came in on another blitz.
That's not the end of the world for Harding. Sure, you love to put up more points, but you start to bleed that clock down a little bit too. First down's worth about 3 minutes. As a coach, you never feel like a game's safe and out of hands. And 3 possessions, unlikely that Prescott's going to get the football that many times, but you want to make sure as a coach.
There's still 20 seconds on the play clock. They got up there like they were going to snap it, and that surprised me a little bit with so much on the play clock. And they got up there, lined up, looked over at the sideline, and now with 10 seconds, they'll turn around and snap it. Miller straight ahead. They're trying to rip that ball out, but Miller with the ball security holds on to it. He's down at the 12. Price makes the tackle.
They're lined up in a kind of an unbalanced look. They had 4 receivers to the near side, 2 of which were on the line of scrimmage. And at least from our vantage point, you can see that's an obvious run formation, as you're not going to throw with an ineligible receiver lined up out there. A lot of window dressing for a simple lead play for your running back.
Same thing, line up. Then they look over at the sideline. 10 seconds on the play clock. Smith all alone. He looks to his left. Corner of the end zone. Caught by Miller. Miller again.
Corner out. He was the 3rd receiver from the outside of the slot. And he just runs a simple out route towards the back pylon and a perfect strike from Cade Smith, the quarterback. And that was the first read and a simple pitch and catch. And Miller's got his 2nd touchdown reception of the day.
Quiet first half from Miller. Not that way in the second half. Extra point is good. Tack on another point. Harding Academy increases their lead to 47-18 with 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go. Maybe the coaches were just saving Miller. That's what, now, with it in hand, they can joke and kid and say, we just wanted to keep Miller fresh for the second half when we really needed him.
15 touches here in this second half, 2 touchdown catches. He's over 150 yards rushing now. Biggest game, you feed the beast, and number 8 has been a beast of a problem for the Prescott defense. And I think the quarterback, of course, always gets the nod in situations like this, but Miller's been pretty important. But Cade Smith maybe have the upper hand as far as the MVP, as he's got 6 total touchdowns.
3 rushing, 115 yards rushing for Smith. Another kickoff sails through the end zone.
Just an embarrassment of riches for this Harding Academy offense. You want a copy of the state championship games? Go to mmproductions.net and place your order. You get all of them. 8-man game that was last Thursday. How good were the games last Saturday? 6A and 7A. Bryant Fayetteville, one of the best games of the year.
Down to the wire. Torian Singleton, a sophomore, making the game-winning catch in the end zone. That was fun.
Fayetteville, a week later, still kicking themselves. 5 turnovers, 3 in the red zone.
Hand off to Dickens. Dickens cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to say he did. Cooper Welch with the tackle. And, I talked to so many coaches throughout the week as they get ready for these games. And Todd Escola was one who pointed out. And that you'll see Joe T. Robinson tonight in the 4A championship against Shiloh Christian. And let me make sure I got it right. But I wrote it down. The quote was, got to play clean. No turnovers. He wants no turnovers tonight. Well, you just mentioned all the turnovers in the 6A and the 7A game. We broke a state record, unfortunately, in the 6A game with 9 turnovers. Well, the 7A game had 8 turnovers. They would have tied a state record if they played a game earlier. The only team not to have a turnover so far in the state championship games is Pulaski Academy. In the 5A game, they didn't have any fumbles or interceptions. Now, they had some turnover on downs because, they go for it on 4th down. Harding Academy has a chance to join Pulaski Academy. Harding Academy has not turned it over so far.
Yeah, that's key. I mean, it sounds simple, but you take care of the football, you limit the possessions, the extra possessions for your opponent, and you put yourself in a better situation to win. And you're talking about, the 4A game, which Jeff Conaway told us that he had a chance to pull away from Arkadelphia last week in the semifinals, a game that ended up being 57-54, but he says when they got the possession of the ball up a touchdown, instead of scoring again to put a little distance, they turned the football over, prevented them from being able to pull away. And it's the simple things like that allow a team to stay in a game. You give them an extra opportunity, and that's how you get beat, especially when you're playing good, strong competition.
4th and 9, and Prescott's going to wave the white flag and go ahead and punt it. Went off the side of his foot, goes out at the 42. So 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this 3A state championship game. Harding Academy just very, very impressive in the second half. And I thought we might see the heart of a champion in the second half, and sure enough, we did. You're in the state championship game back-to-back and win it back-to-back years. You know how to win. You know what it's going to take, and there was no panic. They came out in the second half and got down to doing what they do best, and it's all paid off.
We knew their offense wasn't going to get shut down for a full 4 quarters. I mean, they average, talking about Harding Academy, close to 400 yards. They were held to about a 120 in the first half, and they've absolutely exploded in the second half. Almost 400 yards of offense as they bring in the reserves.
Running right up the middle. No gain, maybe a half yard. Luke Cole makes the tackle. Let's mention Trenton Hall on the carry. So Trenton gets into the game and gets a memory in the state championship game. Owen Miller now in at quarterback. Owen hands it off over the left side. That's Dickens still in the game for Prescott. He makes the tackle.
Chuck Dovis showcases the natural state from a bird's eye view in Exploring Arkansas from Above. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. or at 10:30 p.m. here on Arkansas PBS.
Owen is a freshman now in at quarterback. I got Owen Miller, Andrew Miller. The brothers. I'm sure somebody from Harding Academy is watching. They can probably tell us.
Wouldn't be a leap.
No.
To assume that.
Another handoff right up the middle as time continues to tick off. That's Trenton Hall again.
Seen some time, of course. They've had a lot of one-sided victories. Owen Miller, 30 of 38 passing, 220 yards, touchdown. That's a pretty good ratio. Instead of trying a field goal here, Harding Academy going to punt it away.
Because that's good sportsmanship. I sure would like to see him try, though.
At 48 yards is a state finals record for longest field goal made.
High pooch kick. Let's see if he can get a little spin on it. It lands in the middle of the end zone.
Going to wind on that one and sail into the end zone. And Prescott gets the ball.
Coming up at 6:30, you'll want to be back here for the 4A state championship game. Shiloh Christian and Joe T. Robinson. We were talking about that a little earlier. 2 years ago, Joe T. beat Shiloh Christian for their state championship victory. And last year, Shiloh Christian got back and they got a state title. So you got Shiloh going for back-to-back titles where Robinson's going for 2 out of 3.
And this was the matchup a lot of people expected to see when the bracket was finalized after the final week of the regular season. The two best teams all year long. Robinson's only loss was to Pulaski Academy in the non-con.
First week of the season, 0 week.
Yep. And Shiloh Christian's only loss came to a 6A school from Oklahoma way back in I believe that was the final week of the non-conference, and they've been rolling. Shiloh tested a little bit last week, but and how impressive is Robinson? It's a blowout win of Warren in the semifinals. Most people not shocked that Robinson won it, but maybe not by that margin.
You mercy rule Warren in the semifinals. That's impressive.
That's impressive. Shiloh Christian got a little test from Ashdown. Obviously a big test last week from Arkadelphia, but their statement win in the playoffs came as they had to go all the way to Wilson, Arkansas to take on Rivercrest and picked up a mercy rule victory there, 41-7. That was a rematch of last year's state championship game. So it's two really, really good offenses going to score off tonight, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a shootout. I think that's the one I had circled for this weekend as far as what I expected to be the most entertaining, and nothing's changed my mind just yet.
How do you think that works, the scouting of the whole? They've gone through the 7-4A, they being Shiloh Christian, beating Ashdown and Arkadelphia. There's Zachary, and you see the speed on. He's going to go. They're not going to catch him. Zachary, another explosive play from him. Prescott not ready just to fold up and go home just yet. But Kalen Zachary, we've seen his speed on a couple of different occasions, and he just ran away from people.
60 yards, and that speed put on showcase there as he just blazes up the far sideline, and Harding might have had the angle, but it quickly disappeared as there's nothing but taillights from number 3.
We'll make it 47-24. They'll try the extra point. Got a new kicker in.
165 yards rushing now for Zachary. Runs of 64 and 60.
Rabadon puts a foot into it, and it is good. That makes it 47-25 with 1:37 to go. And Zachary's been fun to watch. That's his 10th carry for 165 yards, and he has 1 catch for 10 yards. They're calling those. Some of those were a lateral. Or was that, I guess the 10-yard catch? That was down by the end zone. So it only went for 10, but he ran for about 30 yards.
Right, yeah. Exactly right. He's explosive, and this was a matchup that we probably would have loved to have seen in week 5, week 6 of the season. Not taking anything away from Harding Academy, but the injuries for Prescott certainly factored into the result today. I'm not saying it would have been a different result, but Jalen Hobson is a big reason why Prescott's in the finals, and you erase 1,879 yards rushing, 30 touchdowns from an offense. It's certainly going to have a trickle-down effect.
No, National Signing Day is Wednesday. You've got to think Zachary's going somewhere to play on Saturdays. He just has too much speed. Somebody can use that.
Doesn't matter what level it is. I think he deserves to be playing on Saturdays. There's no doubt about it.
Harding Academy fields the kick and just takes a knee. They're going to run out this clock and get ready to celebrate. See if they get those Gatorade buckets ready over on that sideline. Cold, chilly afternoon for Neil Evans to be soaking wet, but I think he'll be fine with it.
He's got the heavy windbreaker on there. He's not too worried about it. And the coaches will tell you they'll suffer for a few minutes for what it means to take the Gatorade bath.
He's got that hood. Oh, he sees it. He's telling them. What's he telling them? Go put it up. He said, "Go ahead and give it to. Let's get it out of the way."
Give it to me.
He's like, "I see what you're doing. Just go ahead and give it to me. Let's get it out of the way."
He prepares.
It's not his first rodeo.
Exactly right.
You think they get him again?
They should.
Yeah.
It's no fun if he knows it's coming.
I was going to say, he's got that hoodie on, and a lot of times that ice gets in that hoodie and the water, and then later on you're moving around. And it
just down your back.
Yep. He needs to put the hoodie on. So,
I think you got this clock's winding down. It's the tip of the cap to Prescott. Really, really explosive team. Really fun team to watch. 14-1 on the season. It's nothing to put your head down about. They've got a lot of really good players, really good coaching.
The coach pointed out this senior class, this is the first time they played for 3 straight state championships in school history, let alone win 3 straight state championships. So he was very proud of the senior class and what they've been able to accomplish. And they have done it. The last 25 seconds will tick off, but the coaches are already going out to midfield to shake hands. Harding Academy gets it done. That's back to back to back. The 9th state championship in school history. The Wildcats knock off Prescott 47-25. They are your 3A state champions.
44 points in the second half, Wes. I mean, just exploded offensively. It started with their defense. Their defense forced 4 turnovers, got another stop on 4th down, and that jump-started the offense just enough, gave them a short field a couple times, and once the momentum started rolling in the way of the red and white guys across the way, they never gave it up, and they steamrolled the Prescott defense in the second half. That's why they've coasted to a 22-point victory.
Let's go down to the sideline. Kyle Sutherland as Coach Evans.
Coach, 3 points in the first half, 44 in the second. I think what we talked about at halftime definitely worked, and now you guys won your 9th state title, first three-peat in school history. How do you put it into words?
It's pretty tough to put into words at the moment. I credit our players, the way they made the adjustments at the half that we talked about. The resiliency, having 2 freshman offensive linemen and a sophomore. It's a big moment for them, and I think it showed up in the first half. But, man, they really settled in the second half and just played dynamite.
Coach, congratulations. Go celebrate.
I would love to hear what those adjustments were because it was very effective, and it may have just been offensive line. It's on you. Here we come.
Exactly. Adjustment number 1, offensive line, play better. Adjustment number 2, get the ball to number 8.
That's a pretty smart move to give Andrew Miller the ball. He finished up with 157 yards rushing on 20 carries. I think he had 7 carries in the first half.
7 total touches in the first half, and he finished the game with
23 because he had 3 catches, 35 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Miller and Smith, your 2 offensive stars for Harding Academy. We kind of felt that way coming into the game, and it lived up to it with Harding Academy winning their 9th state championship, their 3rd straight.
It was impressive what they did, but you can't be lost in translation what the defensive front for Harding Academy did to Prescott. They gave up the 12 points, the 2 big plays early, but they were able to push the pocket. They were in Poole's face. They hit the quarterback, forced the first interception, that first turnover that started the momentum to roll the other direction.
6 sacks for Harding Academy. And like you said, the interception was caused by pressure hitting the quarterback as he was throwing it, so they didn't get credit for a sack there. But And later on, they had a sack near the goal line. Ball pops out. Defensive line recovers it and sets up a short touchdown run from the quarterback, I believe, ran that one in. Yeah, Cade Smith ran that one in. So defensive line was a huge story. Can't overlook them because they created and made a lot of plays.
Yeah, that's when it started to turn. I mean, you can talk about the adjustments they made offensively, but the first 3 drives of the third quarter were all short fields with the exception of the opening kickoff. In that third quarter, the defense has set them up for success, and they were able to take advantage of it.
So who would you vote for? Well, we never voted for MVP, and it's either Cade Smith or Andrew Miller, right?
Yeah, I think with the 6 total touchdowns are going to be tough to overlook. For Harding Academy, you're talking 3 touchdown runs and 3 touchdown passes for Cade Smith, 235 yards of total offense. Everybody loves to give the awards to the quarterback. I would give it to the defensive line, but they only brought 1 trophy, 1 plaque to give to the MVP. So I would say Cade Smith takes it home, but Andrew Miller took over that second half.
There's Prescott accepting the runner-up trophy, and just a great year. And you think about what they've done the last couple of weeks without Jalen Hobson to get to the state championship game, and just basically ran out of studs. You got to feed the studs, right? Well, when your studs are all on the sideline, at some point it just wears you down. Harding Academy hoists the trophy. We'll wrap it up when we come back. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
During the past year, we've been traversing the natural state with our cinematic drone. From lakes and rivers, waterfalls, scenic byways, mountains, swamps, overlooks, and towering rock formations. This unique documentation of all 4 seasons from all 4 corners of the state with an aerial cinematic perspective will give you, the viewer, an Arkansas adventure like never before.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
Harding Academy is celebrating a 3rd straight state championship. They have the trophy, and now they're headed over to the student section to celebrate with their classmates. Wes Moore, Bobby Swafford with you. We're wrapping things up. Cade Smith, the quarterback, was your MVP. You nailed it, Bobby.
Yeah, he was effective, 9 of 15 through the air, 113 yards, 3 touchdowns, didn't turn it over, but maybe more importantly, the big scramble to start the offense early in that first quarter, 52-yard run, and the quarterback draw. The 20-yard touchdown run's really the nail in the coffin for Prescott. Finished with 3 touchdown scores, and he's going to the Hill to play baseball, but he's a pretty good football player too.
Well, he'll be back another year, though.
Yeah.
You know, this was his first state championship game. Coach talked about his offensive linemen with a couple of freshmen and a sophomore. They had to settle down, but Cade also had to settle down probably. And once he got everything, the jitters worked out, he was pretty darn good. Here's a look at your final stats as we wrap things up. 153 passing yards for Prescott. They had a couple of big plays. They actually had more passing yards than Harding Academy, but the big difference in the game, those rushing yards, 278 for Harding Academy, and a lot of that came in the second half.
Yeah, that's 118 yards of total offense in the first half, and you see that the total numbers there for Harding Academy. The adjustments they made at the break certainly paid off. They established the running game. That's when they got the big pass over the top. And Harding Academy proved they're the best team in Class 3A, and now they're going to have to try to do it in 4A. Well, we're going to find out who the best team is in 4A coming up tonight.
We look at the total yards, not a big difference. It was all about those turnovers. 4 turnovers for Prescott, 0 for Harding Academy. Next up, the 4A state championship game between Joe T. Robinson and Shiloh Christian. 6:30 start, 6:40 kickoff. I'm expecting a great game. 2 very good teams. Joe T winning that 7-4A. It is a dogfight year after year. You saw Shiloh have to go through Ashdown and Arkadelphia last week. So Shiloh knows all about that 7-4-8 and how tough those teams are.
Yep, Shiloh Christian, your defending state champion, but they've got a bad taste from 2 years ago, and Robinson controlled them. You know, turnovers in that game helped the Senators kind of pull away for a state championship over Shiloh Christian. So that, you know, they remember that game. That's the last time they lost to a school from the state of Arkansas for Shiloh Christian. So they're hoping to get that back. And Eli Wisdom said, "Hey, I'm going to be in the finals 3 years in a row. I'm going to win 3 state titles." We got a chance for number 2 for the Shiloh quarterback.
All right, we're going to take a break for a while. We're going to catch our breath, but we will be back here for the 4A state championship game at 6:30. I hope you join us. It should be a good one. Final here, Harding Academy knocks off Prescott 47-25. This has been the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
This month on Arkansas PBS.